Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Congressman Mike Waltz.
All right, show everybody. Let's show everybody who we're going to get elected. Donald J. Trump. Listen, I stand before you proudly, as a 27-year Army veteran and the first Green Beret ever elected to the United States Congress. And just returned from Normandy, from the 80th anniversary of D-Day. My wingman, Corey Mills, was right there with me when we jumped 10 veteran members of Congress out of a World War II aircraft in vintage uniforms to honor our forefathers that at 18, 19 years old literally saved the world on the beaches of Normandy. Now, Speaker Johnson was a little bit nervous. He said, you know, Michael, we only have a one-seat majority, and you're taking 10 Republicans with you. I said, Mr. Speaker, the uniforms are vintage, the plane is 81 years old, but don't worry, the parachutes are new. And he said, I said, well, I've got a backup plan. We're taking a Democrat with us, so if we lose one, no, in all seriousness, I want to tell you a story about Donald J. Trump that you'll never hear in the media, because the mainstream media just doesn't want to talk about what an incredible man President Trump is. The world is on fire right now, and the world is on fire for all kinds of reasons, but mainly because of weakness in the White House. And it all started with the despicable, disgraceful stain on America's consciousness that the withdrawal from Afghanistan was. And just several months ago, we had the 13 Abbey Gate Gold Star families to the House for a hearing, and one of the dads said, you know, I've been quiet for years because he was desperate to get answers from the Biden administration. By the time he got to us, he had it. He said, I am neck deep in Biden's bullshit. I have had it. I am over it. You remember the dad that stood up in the State of the Union? Because Biden won't even say Afghanistan, much less the names of their sons and daughters that they lost. Well, Biden wouldn't even give them a meeting. So I called up President Trump and told him what was going on. He said, get him up here, Michael, get him up here. He was supposed to spend an hour with him. He ended up spending 6 hours with them, met with each one individually, signed anything that they wanted, and importantly, promised them when he gets back into the White House, he is going to release all the tapes, all the video, all the everything that they deserve. He will drive accountability for their loss. No one's been fired to date. Donald J. Trump gets in, we're going to clean house in the Pentagon and in the deep state. After it was all over, then he invited them for dinner, and we shut down the restaurant. 3 of the moms, they were laughing, they were crying. They came up to me afterwards and said, this is the best thing that's happened to me since I lost my son. That's the Donald J. Trump that we know. That's the Donald J. Trump that we are going to elect into the White House again, and that the media never wants to show you. But look at where and I guarantee you, as Commander-in-Chief, he won't be checking his watch as a flag-draped coffin goes by. But just look at where we are now, just in a few years. The world is on fire, and the number one job of the President of the United States is to keep us safe as Commander-in-Chief. We had a Commander-in-Chief in Trump that had ISIS defeated, Iran broke, Abraham Accords breaking out, and stood with our ally Israel, no matter what, as they faced the threats that they faced. And now we have the world on fire. We had a Commander-in-Chief that was putting tariffs on China. Now we have one with spy balloons floating over our nuclear sites. We had a commander-in-chief that told Putin, don't you dare. I'll take the tops off the Kremlin. I hope President Trump tells that story tonight. And now you have Putin sending warships right off the coast of Florida and down into Cuba again. And I think the thing that pisses me off is when it comes around the world, President Trump and our allies, President Trump saying, you all got to pay up. NATO, you need to pay up. What is Biden saying? Biden's telling the American taxpayer to pay up. But the thing that's so upsetting is President Trump, I can tell you as a veteran, he made sure that our military had the planes, the tanks, the missiles, everything that they need. What's Biden's people doing? They're running around renaming bases, putting solar panels on, trying to generate electric tanks. Electric tanks, I kid you not, there's no charging stations in the Middle East the last I checked. This is what we're dealing with. And most of all, you've got Joe Biden, who lost his Secretary of Defense for a week. He gets lost on the stage, but you remember, his Secretary of Defense just disappeared. And zero accountability. Look, folks, we need a commander-in-chief that cares. We need a commander-in-chief that is strong. We need a commander-in-chief, most of all, that our enemies respect and that our enemies fear. And you all are going to get that commander-in-chief back in office. It's easy to yell at the television. It's easy to post on social media. But you all, the ground troops of the MAGA movement, of the America First movement, are going to get Donald J. Trump elected again. We need Donald J. Trump in that White House. Our allies need Donald J. Trump in that White House. The world needs Donald J. Trump in that White House. And you all are going to do it, and we stand squarely behind him. Look, I'm going to hand this over. We are on the front lines with the progressive left in the House. Every day, day in and day out, we are fighting the squad, and this next speaker is in the trenches, too, over in the Senate. We have great senators. We have a great team up in Washington, D.C., and I don't know, maybe Florida might have a new vice president. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But let me hand this off and introduce our great Senator Marco Rubio. We'll see what President Trump decides, but it is a team effort. It is a team fight. It's got to happen at the local level, at the state level, at the federal level to make America great again. God bless you. I salute you. I salute you. Let's win.